Okay. Hey guys, thank you for being on our Lunch and Learn today. I am super excited to talk about Fast Start Gold with Jenn Buckley. I am really excited for her to share her tips because she just fast started gold in October and got the bonus, and she actually did it during the double bonus. So she got the double bonus. But before we begin with her, I want to kind of talk about, what is Fast Start. Sorry, I had to mute a couple more people. Okay, so what exactly is Fast Start? In the Plexus compensation plan, we actually have a bonus program that if you can aim to hit it in your first 30 days, and it's called Fast Start. And I'll tell you guys, it does not happen very often. Did you actually know that Sarah Taylor, our upline, she's had the most fast starts on her team in the entire company? She actually fast started gold on her re-entry leg. So for those who are new, that means, once you hit the top of the company, once you're a diamond, you get to join your team again. And when you rejoin as your own level 1, you get to rebuild that leg up, and she fast started gold on that leg. I was actually her first fast start ever. So I'm going to get like a shirt or something. And then Michelle Collins on our team, she actually fast started twice. She added her husband, and after she fast started herself, and then she added her husband to her team and fast started his leg. Then she had 2 on her team. And then Jenn is our newest fast start, and she did it during that double bonus. So guys, you always want to tell your new ambassadors about Fast Start. Just so they know about it. In fact, Sarah Taylor said her first 30 days, she had signed like 18 ambassadors, but she didn't know anything about Fast Start when she very first started. And even if you don't make it, even if your person doesn't make it, they are going to be that much further along in their business than had they never tried for it. So usually what I do when someone's interested in the business right away, and you guys know it's rare sometimes to have somebody who joins and is ready to work the business, right? Most of the people on the team, we aren't sure, or we're not gung-ho about the business at first. So usually if you have somebody that's ready, as soon as, before they join, you want to start talking to them about Fast Start right away. Sometimes I'll even talk to people about Fast Start before they even sign up, because the day you join is day 1, right? So let me go over a little bit about exactly what it takes to Fast Start and what it is, because most people hear Fast Start Gold. That's the most common Fast Start rank. But did you guys know you can actually Fast Start Senior Gold, Ruby, and Senior Ruby? I've only heard of one person actually fast starting Ruby. And so you have your first 30 days to add all of those people to your team. Now, the way it works, though, is on something called Plexus Mock Points, right? So let's use gold as the example. To hit gold in our compensation plan, you need 100 points. That's 20 ambassadors on your team, because when they place an order, you get 5 points each. Plexus, though, in your first 30 days, because they're going to be buying welcome packs, and welcome packs don't give you points, they allow you to use mock points to reach those ranks. So when you have 20 people on your team with welcome packs, they are assuming that you would hit gold the next month, right? So they let you use these mock points. And then you get double bonuses. So if you fast start gold, you get the silver bonus, the gold bonus, and then it's doubled. All right. And here's the thing, guys, adding 20 ambassadors in 30 days can happen to anybody. Like even if you're not brand new, you're way outside your 30-day window, or maybe you have somebody who just now is ready to start the business, you still can take all of these tips Jenn's getting ready to share and apply them. Now, you don't get the fast start bonus, but anyone can add 20 ambassadors to their team in 30 days. In fact, Eric Warre, the GoPro guy, would tell you if you're in a rut, that's the best way to skyrocket and boost your business, is to find 30 days where you're going to be committed and add 20 people. So Jenn, I am going to turn it over to you. So you, where are you? I'm going to unmute you, or you're unmuted, so you can share your tips with everybody.
Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you? So I thought I had 5 tips. Come to find out, I have 8 tips. So first is your mindset. When you first sign up, your mindset is to go in gung-ho. You have to be confident. You have to be unapologetic about your business and your products. Like, never apologize to someone if they don't want to sign on. That's the biggest thing. Never say, oh, I'm sorry, because eventually they're going to come back to you. No is not a definite answer. Never take no as a final answer. You can ask Amy. I told her no for over about, almost 2 years. And look at me now.
You actually, that's a good point, because there are times too where you just ignored me.
Yep.
Not only did she say no, guys, I went back through our messages, and there were all those times where I'm like following up every couple months, and it's crickets. So you're right. Exactly right.
So, and then once you come on, you want to be determined. You want to set that goal for yourself. Even if you don't know if you can hit it, try to hit it. Who knows? You can hit it. It's not going to be easy. That's the one thing I told myself every day. It's not easy. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I had nights where I didn't go to sleep until midnight because I was reaching out to people. I had mornings where my day was completely packed. I was, sadly to say, neglecting my child somewhat. But I made it happen. And the last thing is knowing your why. Why are you doing it? Why are you choosing to build your business? For me, my why was my kids and my husband. I want to eventually do what Sarah Taylor did. I want to retire my husband. I want him home with me every day. So all of that put together mentally made my focus to hit that fast start goal even more determined. My second tip is you don't have to have your product in hand to start selling it. I started selling it before I even got my product in hand. I just posted about my excitement for it, how excited I was to start. I posted about Amy's testimony and how I wanted that. I was hoping that would happen to me. I was reaching out to my close friends that weren't on Facebook, like when we had play dates and things like that, and touching base with them. And then 5 out of the 10 that I did reach out to before I even had my product are on my team now. So just because you don't have, or your ambassadors don't have their product, doesn't mean that they can't start selling it. What else? Your first post, you want to make it public. And all of you guys know this. So when you tell your new ambassadors that sign on, you want to make all your Plexus posts public. So when one person comments on it, it's a chain reaction. Everybody behind them are going to see it on their friends list. I've had people reach out to me that I didn't know, but were friends of friends because they saw posts. Sharing your personal story is huge. Letting everybody know your story will touch heartstrings, as I say it, because they see stories on Facebook, but they don't hear it firsthand. So you want to have that testimony for your ambassadors to be able to share. So also when I was building my team, I found it funny because Amy sent me this gorgeous little notepad. And on it, it has 531. Every day for those 30 days, I reached out to 5 new people every single day. And I would touch base with 3 of those people. It was a chain reaction. That was my goal. I would write it down every night before I went to bed. Who do I need to touch base with? Who do I want to reach out to? And I would check them off my list. Put them in a yes or a maybe or a no category. And like I said, that no is not a definite. I've taken people from my no category and brought them in as an ambassador. So never take no as an answer. Supporting your team. So anybody that they sign under them as an ambassador, you want to support their journey. You want to help them reach their goal, which in turn will help you reach your goal. If it wasn't for my level 1 who just took silver last month, I probably would not have fast started gold because I helped her reach silver and get her double bonus, and it pushed her further and motivated her more, which in turn helped me. But it also helped her because she got the double bonus.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something?
Well, that's a good point, because to fast start gold, it's 20 on your entire team. You do just have to have 3 level 1s, right? That's kind of the minimum for gold. You have to have 3 level 1s, and then that's a great point. I don't think I said that in the beginning, that it's 20 on your whole team.
And then when I started, it was like, that was Amy's thing to me. I want to help my team reach their goals to help me reach mine. Always reach out to your upline or your other ambassadors. So when you sign a new ambassador, make sure that they know that you're readily available for them to reach out to. Amy has been a godsend through my whole Fast Start journey. I think I bothered her every day, calling or texting or messaging and being there. So you want to be there for your ambassadors to help them Fast Start Gold, as well as fellow ambassadors. I've reached out to many of you guys and had you guys help me and post on my posts. And that was huge. So making sure we're all a team. It's not an I, it's a team. What else do I got? Knowing your product. When I first got my success kit, you guys all know these, I studied them. My husband laughed at me because he thought I was going back to school. And I said, I need to know what I'm selling. I need to know the science behind it. And you want to have your new ambassadors know that. You need to break down the science for them so they're able to explain it to somebody else. Like I had my friend Tanya, who's a nurse, sign with me because she understood what I was saying. Like she got the science behind it, so it made sense to her. And that's for anybody, signing anybody to your team. Letting them know the science behind the product and how it works will make it easier for them to make a decision. And explaining to your ambassadors when you sign them that they have all those files in the group page as well as in the back office to research their products to get the help that they need. Every day when I posted, I made sure that I had 3 posting points. And I forget where I read this. I don't know if it was Amy that told me this or if I read it somewhere else. When you post to Facebook as a network marketer, you don't want to constantly spam your page. It can't be plexus, 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 because eventually people are just going to block it out. So every day I would have 1 plexus post, 1 personal post, and 1 post that engaged my audience. So asking a question, what do you think between this and this? Or like engaging them to come to your page and see what's going on. And also having 1 motivational post. So every morning I would wake up and I would post some kind of happy words, a motivation, inspiration for the person for the day. And I realized by doing that, I was getting more audience to my page and being able to spread my word further. What else do I got? Don't be salesy. It's not going to work. Being salesy, I mean, it works for some people, but not all people. They want to know your story. They want you to be honest with them. They don't want you to sugarcoat anything. And that's what this whole past month, that was my journey. I didn't sugarcoat anything. I told them, you're going to feel worse before you feel better. And that's the thing. You have to be honest with them. You can't expect them to be, oh, okay, I'm all about it, unless you're being completely honest. Back to you, Aim. That's all my tips I got.
Let me unmute myself. Those are awesome. I just want to summarize some of those and talk a little bit too about what you and I did. So, you know, guys, mindset is huge. Like she said, when she decided she was going to do it, she believed it and she just went for it. Definitely reaching out to people before you get your welcome pack. And, you know, you can't be afraid to start sharing with people. Yeah. Here's the other thing. For those of you on the call or who are going to watch this video and you want to help somebody on your team fast start, you have to surround them with tons of support. Fast start, I mean, 20 people in 30 days, guys, it is a sprint. And you are going to be, I don't know if overwhelmed is the word, but you're going to be busy. So
slightly overwhelmed.
Yeah, and you do feel overwhelmed, especially when they're brand new. You're trying to figure out what the heck to do anyway and learn the process, and now we're pushing you to add 20 people to your team, right? So you have to surround them with tons of support. I put her in a 3-way message with my upline. I had a message between just her and then her and I were texting all of the time. The other thing, if you're helping someone on your team fast start, the day they join is day 1. Count out 30 days. On that 30th day, the deadline is 11 o'clock Central. Do not plan to be MIA. They're going to need you that day. It just so happened, though, that for Jen, I was at Leaders Retreat. And I remember one evening because we did some reimbursements. We refunded some of the $34.95s to help people get off the fence. And I told her, I was like, I'm getting ready to go to the Halloween party. If you need a PayPal, I need to know like right now. So be available to your person, okay? Be strategic in your post. That was a great tip. And you want to talk a little bit, Jen, about the specials. I know, for her, when Michelle fast started, when I fast started, especially when you're new, getting people off the fence, especially if you have people in your network that have never heard of Plexus, it helps to give them a coupon, an incentive, something. Now, I know when you're new, you're not making any paychecks. So you have to think about that. You don't have to refund the whole $34.95. But remember, when they're buying welcome packs and you have 20 people that buy a welcome pack, you also get that bonus on top of the Fast Start bonus. So that right there is another $500 if you have 20 people who buy the $99 welcome pack. So that you can use to reimburse. That's why we always usually run specials with welcome packs. But I think, Jen, that probably helps some of yours get off the fence.
Yeah, so like when I first started, we didn't do the special right away. I signed my first 3 without the special, and then we kind of added in where it started off. I'd give you back half of that $34.95,
Right.
And then $10 off.
Right.
And then it just grew to the point where like, okay, I'm running out of people. What do I have to do? And it was that full $34.95. We're like, okay, this is going to happen. This is going to be what has to happen.
Yeah. So
you have to think of. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When you think about it, that $34.95, you don't have to rebate it right then and there. Give them a date. Okay, in the next week and a half, you should see a rebate. Or at the end of the month, you'll see the rebate. When you get that bonus check, right, you think how much, that was a pushing factor too. Okay, how much am I going to make and how much am I willing to give away?
Right. And that's the other thing too, is most people who fast start, they do it in the last 2 weeks, sometimes in the last week.
Yeah.
Because you're really spending the first week or so planting seeds, reaching out to everyone. And you were very smart. Jen even said, when I told her, I said, hey, we might want to offer this. She was like, well, I don't want to do it yet. Let me see, how many people I can get. And then if I need to, as we get closer to the deadline.
That last week I signed, 12 people in the last week?
Yeah.
So that was like my saving grace, is having, okay, this is down to the wire and this is what I need to do.
Right.
And that's how I got everybody on board.
Yeah. So if you guys have someone trying to fast start, is their upline, that might be something you want to offer to them. Because remember, you also get the welcome pack bonus for all those people that they're signing. Even if you chipped in, $5 or $10, that's something you can do to help support your fast starter. And the other thing to help support your fast starter, they are going to tell you at some point that they don't think they can do it. And you have to tell them they can. I told Sarah Taylor from the very beginning, there's no way I could get 20. Jen, I think you only told me once, right towards the middle. You're like, oh man, I don't know. And then literally the next text, you were like, nope, I'm doing it. It's happening.
Yep.
So keep pushing them. You have to keep pushing them. If you have somebody that says they want to fast start and you send them the info, you tag them in a couple videos, you send them this recording, and then you leave them alone, that's not going to help them fast start. You really do have to surround them with that support. Get on 3-way chats with them. Get on messages with them. Have them put their potentials in a party. Have them, make sure, ask them specifically who you're reaching out to. Like Jen, she had her list of people. I knew she was knocking it out every single day. But you really have to kind of push them. I remember with Michelle too, on her second fast start, I think she told me every single day it wasn't going to happen. I was like, yes, it's happening. You can do it. Right.
Yeah. And the thing is getting out of your comfort zone too. Like you need to, how like you have that comfort zone of your immediate friends.
Yeah.
You have to go out from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to break down. You're going to run out of immediate close friends. So you need to start expanding. So right. I talked to the girl at the coffee shop, or I talked to preschool moms that I didn't know. I would just talk to them.
Yeah, you're definitely open to talking to anybody. And for a lot of people, that can be hard, especially when you're brand new and you're not even sure, how to work the business, but if you commit and you just want to do it, I mean, the worst thing that can happen is what? Somebody says no thanks. That's it. Do you guys?
I'm pretty sure everybody's been told no at least once in their lifetime, right, that it's not going to hurt. I promise you that person's no is not going to be the end of the world.
Right.
And I think I was talking to Christina on our team the other day with her team, and she had people on her no list for like a year that she brought back. That eventually was like, okay, so yeah, never take no as that final answer, and don't be offended by it.
Right.
Because it's not you, it's just not their time.
Exactly. That's what Heather just said in the chat. It's just not right now. And sometimes too, this is a little off topic, but sometimes they're not saying no to you, and they're not saying no to Plexus. They're saying no to the words you use. A lot of times with fast starters, guys, you need to help them. And this goes for any new ambassador, regardless of fast start. It just seems that fast start is such a ramp up. You have to help them on how to talk about Plexus. I was on a call with someone the other day, and she just kept saying, I am talking to so many people that are interested, but none of them have bought yet. And so after going back and forth and talking to her and figuring out, like, okay, exactly what are you doing? We found out that as soon as somebody asks her how much it is, which we all know is usually the first question people ask, she was telling them it's $100 a month. So they were not saying no to her. They were not saying no to Plexus or the products. They were saying no to the words she was using, that $100 a month, which we know is not the case, right? So anyway, you need to help a lot of times your new ambassadors on how to talk to people, how to engage them in that conversation.
Yeah, that's like a big thing with my friend Nicole. When I signed her, she has one level, I have one level 2 under her, and it was the words that she was using.
Yeah.
And and I had to sit down and break it. Like, her and I were on a chat, and I'm like, okay, tell me exactly what you said.
Right.
And how to rework it.
Right. And that's why three-way, that's how I fast started. I bet I put 18 of the 20 people that fast started under me in a chat with Sarah Taylor as my upline. That's why those three-way chats are really helpful, because Sarah Taylor modeled for me how to answer and how to have those conversations. And then she also kind of modeled, what not to say, what to say. A lot of people are afraid to do it because we project onto our potential that they're not going to want to be in a three-way chat. Here's how you do it, guys. It's super easy. You don't ask them. You say, hey, Jen, I am so excited for you to learn about Plexus. I love it. I'm new, though. I don't know enough about it. I'm going to throw my friend Amy into this chat. And then you just do it. Super simple. If you need help with the right wording, I would encourage you to put your upline, or if your upline's inactive, their upline. Eventually, you'll find an upline, who's working the business and can go in a three-way chat. It's a great way to model. And a lot of times,
go
ahead.
That three-way chat with you and Sarah was huge, because I would bounce questions off both of them.
Yeah.
And it was awesome having them both there, because if Amy wasn't readily available to answer my questions, Sarah was there, and vice versa. So I had that backup at all hours of the day.
Yes.
Someone was going to answer me.
Right. And you guys will never bug your uplines. That's why we're here. I promise you. I mean, I still bug Sarah Taylor all the time with questions still. You will never bother your uplines putting us in messages, asking us to go on three-way chats with potentials. And a lot of times potentials, that third-party validation gets them off the fence. Just talking to somebody else gets them off the fence. So do you guys have any questions while we're on? I know a lot of you guys are at work, so you can't chat, you can't talk, but you can certainly chat it in if you want.
Any takers?
And one thing I'm actually going to do, I posted it in another group. We have that Road to Ruby group that we started several months ago. And I posted in there Eric Worre. Look him up. He's the GoPro guy, but look up his videos on how to jumpstart your business. And he talks about adding 20 people in 30 days. And he lays out what you have to do. I'm actually going to do that again. And I would love for people on the team, for all of us to kind of do it. The thing is, you actually have to find a time where you can make that sacrifice. Yes, Shauna, Fast Start has to be the very first 30 days to get the Fast Start bonus from the company. But that's what I was saying. You can add 20 ambassadors anytime you want. you can decide tomorrow, that beginning tomorrow for the next 30 days, you're going to add 20 ambassadors. But it does take sacrifice, and you really are working it more than an hour every day. Wouldn't you say, Jen? You were working it pretty much all day long?
Yeah, all day long. I was on my phone nonstop. My poor data bill is ridiculous. Just so I could keep conversations going. Like, I didn't want to leave anyone hanging for more than half, not even like an hour. I'm like, I got to message them back. Because if someone feels neglected in a way, if you don't answer them within a timely period, and we all have this. Have you ever gone to the doctor's office and they don't come in time? You get angry.
Right.
It's the same like when you're talking to somebody. If you leave them hanging for so long, eventually they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I can't do this.
Well, especially in the beginning when you're new, right? Now, like for me, once you get to a point though, you can set those boundaries and tell people like, oh man, I was so busy today with all my calls. But you're right. In the beginning, I know I lived on my phone too. Michelle has a great question. How do you deal with 20 new ambassadors all at one time since you're so new yourself? You lean on your upline. And go ahead.
So I might feel slightly excessive. So every day I have them in their own group message, every single one of my ambassadors. And every morning I just pop on, hey, how is everyone doing today? I hope you have a good day. I'm around if you need anything. And that was an everyday thing. And leaning on Amy, and I added Amy to my group. So if anyone had a question that I wasn't able to answer, she was there to be able to answer it for me. So having that upline with you the entire time, the entire journey is one of the biggest things.
Right. And when you guys, if you do have a new ambassador who fast starts, once they fast start, then you really need to pour into them and help them, because you're right. They're brand new. And now all of a sudden they have a team of 20 people. So not only do they have to all of a sudden lead these 20 people, they may, like Jen, have people working the business, right? So then there's some duplication that has to happen to make sure her people are getting their people started off right. But also, guys, she might have 20 people all in die-off at the same time. And so that is something else. You know, she's going to have to learn follow-up and all of that. So you really need to support your fast start. Shauna, when you have a full-time job, it is hard. But I had a full-time job when I first started and when I fast started. I had a full-time job. I had the 1 hour commute on each end. And I could not be on my computer and work Plexus during the day, except for my lunch hour. So I would take my lunch hour. But you're right. It is hard to do, but it is doable. You just have to figure out how you're going to do it, where you're going to do those nooks and crannies and things.
Like, yeah, my schedule I'm a partial stay-at-home mom, and my schedule isn't free the entire time. My son's in speech. I teach 6 spin classes a week on top of my own workout schedule, and then throw in everything else that life throws at you with 2 crazy kids who never leave me alone ever, forever. It wasn't easy, but I set aside time for myself. Even if it was me sitting in the bathtub in a bubble bath, no joke, I'd sit there on my phone for like an hour in a hot bubble bath. Meanwhile, my kids are screaming downstairs with my husband. But you fit it in where you can, and eventually the more you're able to fit in, that full-time job might be able to be replaced with Plexus.
Yep, definitely true. All right, any other questions?
When is a good time, like Jen just said that she had like a team chat started. Like I'm nowhere near needing like a team page just yet, but like I thought about doing the chat, but all of mine that I have, all my level 1s are just wholesalers right now. So I don't want it to annoy them. And I wouldn't post obviously all the time, but sometimes it is the ones I do have. Sometimes it's kind of like, is it still more beneficial to individually message them? Because sometimes I'll let them know if we do have like a team special. That way, even if they're not wholesalers, I have had some of them already come to me with people that have talked to them already. So a couple of them are kind of on the fence, like they may kind of go with it, but they're not there yet.
Right.
Is it still more beneficial to just do individual messages at this point?
Well, so I have in my there's 23 now. They're all in one message board together. And I tell them every now and again, I remind them, you don't have to be in it for the business. I'm going to give a little bit of both. Like, I'm going to tell you some about product. I'm going to answer your questions that you have. at the same time, I'm going to touch base on the sales aspect, because the more that you show them the opportunities that Plexus has, the more eventually they're going to come around. I have one on my team that is about this close to wanting to sell. She's just not there yet. But the more active that I am, and the more active that I am within the Pink Rockstars page, and the more that she sees Amy post, the more intrigued she's starting to get. So having them all into one group can be beneficial in helping push them to become a full ambassador and move away from the wholesale option.
Well, so that's, and one thing I was going to say though, because, you know, it really depends on, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Jenn, with the 23 she has, she's building that culture on her team that regardless, they're all together. Now, you know, she might have a couple wholesalers jump out of the thread because that's not for them. You have to think about that. That's why we always add wholesalers though to the team page. So like for me, I didn't start a message thread. I did everything individually in the beginning to my wholesalers. But because they were on the team page, if there was a special that they could do or a contest that didn't mean they necessarily had to work the business, I would still tag them in it. And there are a lot of people here on the call. In fact, Dylan is one of them who was a wholesaler. And like Jenn said, just by her being active on the big team page and, you know, someone seeing all the shout outs and the contests and the fun, they might decide to start working the business because they see that engagement on the team page. Yeah, Dylan said yeah. So that's really kind of up to you, Amy, if you want to put them together or if you want to do it individually. Just know that if you put them together and they leave the thread, that's okay.
Right.
And I've had people leave my group thread, and those are truly my wholesalers who, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, they're not going to change their mind. They're not going to want to sell it, which is a silly notion. And you know that. You could eventually get your product for free. But some people just don't understand this. Right. So when they left, I wasn't offended. Like, I took no offense to it because it wasn't me. It's just that was their choice. And I reach out to them individually just to make sure that they're doing okay on their product, making sure that they know when they need to order or if they have their backup order on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say too, guys, if you do a group thread like that, you still want to reach out to these people individually about how they're doing on the products, because nobody wants to really talk about how they're pooping in a big group thread, you know? So it's still.
What? You don't want to talk about poop?
Oh.
I have something. I never know. I never known. I thought I was going to talk about poop this much as I do now, but.
Right. Melissa, were you going to say?
Did you have one?
Yeah, I was actually going to say something. I would be careful on how many groups, message threads, Facebook pages, things like that you add wholesalers and even brand new ambassadors, because it does become overwhelming. And it overwhelmed me to where I had to turn Messenger off of my phone. I had to take myself out of groups because there were so many contests and so many things going on. It was hard to keep up. Plus, you know, I was doing team calls over here, team calls over here. We had this contest going on and this book club. And I mean, it starts making your vision just doubles at a point. And so something that I was talking to Betty about, because Betty and Tammy, I'm on their team and they have their own team page. So all the wholesalers, we're just going to add them to that team page only. And then what Tammy and Betty have been doing is when the other team pages have been having deals or specials, they copy it to that page to let those people know so that they're not overwhelmed being a part of all these other groups. And then when they have someone who wants to start really doing the business, then they'll add them to the additional, you know, the ambassadors that want to do the business, they get added to their team page and to Pink Rockstars. Right. And then let them be a part of those two pages for a while before maybe adding them to Sarah Taylor's. But after that, I mean, we're not adding anybody to the Dream Team and to Team Plex It Forward and this and that, because it becomes very overwhelming.
So that's a great point. Let me tell you something that I learned from Sarah Taylor. One, you're right. You don't want to add people to every single group. You don't. It's overwhelming. But it's up to us to explain to our ambassadors, hey, we're going to have all these contests. We're going to have all these team calls. There's all these message threads. We're adding you to them because they're a great resource. You, though, don't have to participate in all of them, right? I even have to remind people that now. We have all these team calls. Guys, they're awesome. It's for your resources. We have all these contests, IPA chats, groups, right? Power partner challenges. You don't have to do all of them. Nobody can do all of them. So you just have to prioritize. But one thing I learned from Sarah Taylor is if you're only going to add them to one page, even your wholesalers, you really want to think about it being a jewel page. Only because there's more people, there's more activity, there's more shout outs, there's more product questions. They get more of that. And sometimes it's easier for wholesalers to catch that vision in that bigger page than, so just something to think about.
Well, that's like what I was going to say. Like when I asked Amy, I said, should I make my own team page? And she says, well, you don't want to bombard your ambassadors by getting double postings. So they would see what Amy posts on Pink Rockstars, but then they'd see the same thing on mine. So it would double hit them, and it would overwhelm them. Melissa, I just had one of my friends who left my team group chat just because she was getting overwhelmed by all the notifications.
Yeah.
Like, I just had to turn my phone off. And I told her, I was like, I completely understand.
Well, I mean, you're right, but they can turn off the notifications
yeah.
to the message thread, and that's true. But you're right. You don't want to add all of them all of the time. And, like Tammy and Betty, you guys have your awesome team page. That's great. Definitely add them there for sure. I'm not saying don't add them to that team page. What I'm saying is think about still adding them to a jewel page. Now, I wouldn't add them to Team Taylor and all that. I don't even add people to Dream Team anymore. And I don't add wholesalers all the time to Team Taylor because Big Pink Rockstars is now big enough. They're going to see all of that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I keep in mind because, I always go back to Dylan, and there's plenty of other people like Dylan. If they, as a wholesaler, hadn't seen a lot of that activity on Team Taylor, actually, I think for Dylan, it was back in Dream Team even. That's what got her wanting to work the business. So that's all.
Yeah, and Amy, we do add them to our team page, and then we add them to Pink Rockstars. And then I also add mine to the wellness page.
Right. Oh, yeah. But, guys, and that's awesome. But you're right, Melissa. You do have to tell them, right? Because yes. A lot of people, I noticed they were adding their wholesalers even just to Pink Rockstars and not telling them why.
Yeah. And in their welcome letter, I also tell them about the sound and the notifications.
Perfect.
And show them how to turn it off. And so they, at least have that option.
Yeah. I started doing that on my 3-way calls with new people that I do. I tell them, I'm like, look, your sponsor added you, and here's why we add wholesalers to that page. Because a lot of times, even if you're adding them just to your team page, they don't know why. They might think it's like, oh, I'm not even interested in the business. Why are you even doing that? So I tell everyone, hey, here's why we add wholesalers. I let our wholesalers know they're the majority. We love our wholesalers. There's never any pressure to sell. We're adding you for ABC reason. So, but you're right. People can get overwhelmed. I think Shelly said that, yeah, and Katie, they get overwhelmed and they shut down.
That's with my ambassadors, I didn't just add them off the bat. I asked them, do you mind if I add you to this page? And I explained why, but then that gives them the option to say yes or no.
Oh, see, I never ask.
Really?
So I never ask. I always add them to the team page, kind of like write the 3-way chat. Don't ask, just do it. They can always leave. Because, guys, I told Sarah Taylor, do not add me to your team page. If she had never done it, I wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be here, right? So most people, if you ask them because they don't understand it, they will tell you no. Because I did. So I like to use myself as the example. And since I didn't know Sarah Taylor and she was a stranger, I was like a butthead about it. I was like, don't you go add me to something on Facebook. I don't want anything to do with the business. She was like, yeah, okay, no, that's not an option. Everyone gets added. You can always leave it. And, of course,
when you added me, I was so gung-ho about the business, I could have cared less.
Right.
And I'm such a Facebook addict that was just one more group that I was added to.
Right.
And I mute all my groups. That way I can go back in and look. By the way, Chelsea, I am so legit. What's the word I'm looking for? Jealous that you're still laying in bed right now.
Her kid.
I know, I'm legit jealous right now. So yeah, the group page has been huge. even with Team Taylor and our Pink Rock Stars.
Oh yeah, so Dylan said, yeah, who she added to. So just think about that. And you guys, I'm not telling you, I will never tell you how to run your business. You run your business however you want. That's the beauty of Plexus. I'm just sharing tips from Sarah Taylor and from me and what we've all found, right? But if you want to add your people to 12 pages, that's fine. If you only want to add them to 1, that's totally fine. So that's the thing I always have to remind people too. I forget, like, you guys, you're rocking it. You run your business. You know your people better than anybody. So
here's one more thing that I just thought of as a tip. You have to learn how your ambassadors, what motivates them and what makes them a better ambassador. For me, I have to have goals set for me. I have to have someone tell me, okay, this is what I want you to shoot for. And it's not that I slack on my own goals, but when I have someone else tell me, I'm so afraid of not meeting their goals that it pushes me harder. So when Amy looked at me and said, okay, we're going to try to sign 30 this month, my first initial thing was like, ah! And then I was like, okay, I can do this because it's a goal and I don't want to upset Amy. Not that I ever could.
Right. But you're right. Not everyone's like that. No, and
Yeah.
Some people, I know, you're right. You got to know your people. Some people I can't push like that because it shuts them down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And see, that for me, expectations, when you set yourself for expectations and you cut short, just like Amy said before, you're further along than if you weren't trying to begin with.
Yeah. 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 All right, guys. Well, thank you for the fast start or for the tips, Jen, and thank you guys for joining us. We're almost kind of at our time. And I know that if you guys have any other questions, you can always post them on the team page, and we are happy to answer them. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.